We're in front of the Cavalliere Blacksmith shop. My grandfather started the shop in 1909. My grandfather gave the shop to my father, and my father gave the shop to me. We do welding and repair. We do custom ornamental ironwork, fabrication, hand-forged ironwork, just about anything out of steel or copper we can do. Down here, I get unique jobs, and, different challenges all the time. You never know. One day I was standing there, a guy walked by and he had handcuffs on, and he's walking by and he looked in and he said, "Hey," then he came in, he said, "Hey, do you think you can take the pin out of these?" I said, "Oh no, I can't do that." He had just walked up from the police department direction, so I'm thinking, I'm gonna take these handcuffs off him and get myself in trouble, And then he over about a half an hour's time, he talked me into taking them off. He said, "Oh, we had a party last night and I got drunk and my buddies handcuffed me and left this morning without the keys and all." So he was down there. So finally I drove that pin out there, hanging over there. So. Yeah, we just had a guy the other day came in and he said, "Now, if I bring in a bunch of gold teeth, can you melt them down?" And well, I guess so. And then we were talking later. We said, "I wonder if he's going to knock them out." Now, he didn't have them with him. He was going to get them. So I guess his wife was still sleeping at home. That's what we've been joking about. He was going to go knock them out. So you never know what people will bring in here. One day my dad was working in the front in there, and he said there was a guy walking down the sidewalk and he had the pour box from the church. And he walked in, he said, "Hey, can you cut the lock?" And my dad took it away from him and he said, "You stole that from up there." My dad had made the box and gave it to the church, and then this guy stole it and wanted my dad to open it. When I was a kid in here, I helped a lot. After school, I came here and helped. That's basically how I learned. My dad wanted me to help every day after school. Sometimes I snuck off, but usually I was here. My dad didn't let me use any power tools. It was all handwork the way they did back in Italy. He had to learn with files and hand saws, no power tools. I thought he was being cruel. But in the long run, you learn a lot better that way. You learn how to cut stuff straight and learn the right way. One of the things I remember the most about my dad working in here, he would always be singing, and if he was working, he was in a good mood and happy. You got a handmade handle. This is where my grandfather did most of his work. He did plowshares, wagon wheels, he shoed horses, and all the other stuff that blacksmiths do. My father did more of, he did plowshares too, but he did more ornamental stuff. Through the years, the utilitarian stuff kind of ended and more ornamental. Today I do ornamental stuff. I do a lot of repair work. I still do hand-forged blacksmith when the job calls for it, but more welding and repair than in the old days. There is a rose bush that my father made. When he was in World War II, on his off time, he hung out at a blacksmith shop in Italy. And an old Italian blacksmith there taught him how to make the roses. And the original patterns that he had, I still have. When I make roses, I use his patterns to make them. And made a bunch for Neiman Marcus a couple years ago. Some of the stories my dad told me in here about my grandfather was he would do work for the Native American Indians. I've got a big pot that my dad saved that they traded. They didn't have money to pay him, so they gave him a pot. Frank Lloyd Wright came in here, and my father and my mother did a lot of work with him. Most of the signs to Taliesin were done by my father. These particular chairs, Frank Lloyd Wright brought in a blueprint, which I still have, and my dad built a bunch of these chairs. For some reason, these two are still here. He never picked them up, so I got to keep two of them. If you'd like to come visit the shop, we're at 3805 North Brown in Old Scottsdale. The phone number is 480-945-6262. Come down anytime and check the place out.